Hey everybody. So we're gonna do something a little different. Um, just picked up a new bottle of tequila, some Cascahuin Tahona, and as you know, some of you know, I do a little in bottle aging. So this is the G4 I recently did with old Rip Van Winkle. A nice little color to it. Got a lot good flavor with it, and I've done a few with Fortaleza and another G4 and another Cascahuin. So we're going to do something a little different. Instead of using bourbon, we're going to use rye to season our little stick. And so I figured I'd go through step by step how I started, at least at this point. Then we'll come back in a couple days. I'll do an update to this video, and then we'll do a finishing video. So when we do that, so basically, this is how I do it when I do these. And I do these for myself. I don't do them for anybody else. This is just something I do because if I can't buy it, I have to make it. So this is how I do that. I've got these off of Amazon. They're already with a number 3 char. This saves a little time. Another way is buying these, again, off of Amazon. Now, as you can see, these things are freaking big. They don't fit in the bottle. Yeah, that's my mistake. But I have a very big, very powerful disc sander that I can take these down to this size, and then I just make them longer. Just remember what I did with them. I had them somewhere. These are all my different ones that I've done. I have them all marked. As an example, we'll pull one of these out. This is the old Rip Van Winkle that I just got done using. I use super floss. If you have any kids that have denture or have braces, you always got to get that super duper floss. So I took those and turned it down to this size, which is quite a bit longer than the one that's in here. It's a little smaller. I have some that are a little bigger. And then I charred these myself. They already had a medium toast to it. And then I did this with a propane torch. And then soaked it for 2 days in old Rip Van Winkle. And then I put it, and so I do it a very simple way. I mean, if you've got other things to do it, there's other ways of doing it. I just use Ziploc bags, little sandwich bags, snack bags, something similar to this. And I put a couple ounces of the seasoning liquid in the bag after I open said package. And retrieve the stick. Now, I like to tap up all the loose parts before it gets wet. That way, I don't have to strain out the liquid. Afterwards. I've had to do that before. Probably still may have to do it again. I've only had to do it with these because the char is so heavy. It does tend to flake off. So I'll clean up my mess here real quick. Put it to the side. All right. And then get that puppy to lay down. And then we're going to take a little bit. Now, this is my opinion only. I like to use high proof whatever, whether to season with or to age. It has been my experience that the higher the proof of whether it's the seasoning agent and the tequila, the better result I get. I did a seasoning project with um, with Fortaleza Blanco as a test, and Lalo as a test. Um, those are both at 80 proof. They turned out fine, but when I repeated that project with still strength, it turned out better. So I think the higher alcohol content seems to open up the fibers in the wood and allow the transfer a little better. Because if you think about it, when they do whiskey, whatever brand, it goes in at still strength or close to. So they're doing it at a high proof, say 120 and above. Tequila the same way. If it's coming off the still, of course, maximum is about 110. They're going to do it around 100 proof. So to age, and then they water down to bring it down to whatever the proof point is. I mean, except for some of the Fortaleza products that are already at still strength, because it comes off at still strength, they age at still strength, it goes back in the bottle at still strength. That's my theory in my brain. I think it just turns out a little bit better. Doesn't take quite as long to age. Of course, there's I don't know, close to 200 of these coming out of a barrel when it's aged. It doesn't not as a Blanco, no aging there. But when I'm going to make an aged Cascahuin product, and considering this is the Tahona, they don't make a Tahona aged product unless they're talking about the añejo. But see, this, though in the same bottle, I don't know that this is aged. This is Tahona, but this is kind of what we're going for. Actually, we're going for the Reposado version of this. That's my this is my first try using rye. So we're going to take a little bit. We pour it in the baggie. Literally, that's all we need. Zip it up. That's all we need. I have a little setup over here on the side. And it sits there for a couple of days. And that's the end of that. So this is barrel strength at 112 proof. It is kind of tasty by itself, but we're going to turn it into a tequila by aging our stick that has never been touched with alcohol, giving it like it's the inside of a barrel stave, with what was in there. So we're going to treat it as that. Then I will take that out after 2 days. I will let it air dry. I'll towel it off a little bit so it doesn't drip all over the place, and then just let it air dry. That could be a couple hours. That could be a day. Doesn't matter. I'll give it as much time as it needs. As small as the wood is, and what's going to be left after, the alcohol will evaporate fairly quickly. Usually within the day, couple hours, I'm dropping it in the bottle. So what I do with the super floss is I tie this onto the stave. That way I can drop it down into the bottle and then put the cork back in it. And this is so thin it doesn't affect the seal. Sorry. And then I just monitor it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. My last project took 4, and that is this one here, the G4. I was gonna let it go. I was gonna stop at 3, and I don't know if I can get a good shot of what the color of that is. It's, I want to say, typical for G4, just like Ocho. I'm not going to say that the tequila doesn't take the color. We know Cascahuin takes color. And we know some of the Ocho and some of the G4 does take color. But usually they use I'm going to say more of a toasted barrel, not a char. Um, so we're going to play with this a little bit. And like I said, um, having a little fun. There's discussions this past weekend about what my next project would be. And I said, I've used bourbon, I've used whiskey, I've done all these other things and the different types of bourbons. But what I haven't done in a long time is use rye and use rye exclusively. I did use rye, and it was Knob Creek rye um, on my 3 blend with the Beyond Barrel staves or sticks, which are solid like dowels. They're not spiral cut. And it turned out pretty well. And, I was using that with the cherry wood to extract fruit flavors out of the cherry. So that's kind of what I'm doing again, except this time we're just using American oak. And then we're going to drop it down into this wonderful bottle of Cascahuin, which I love by itself. And if you can see up on my shelf, I've got a 325 up there, and the behind it that you can't see is a already open bottle of this that I sample off of, every once in a while with everything else I have there to sample. So this is what we're going to do with this. This part of the video is going to be a little short. You'll see me in a different shirt, probably a different hat. When we come back in a couple of days, after we've seasoned our stick with our rye whiskey. So, since we're here, let's have a little drink. So, Old Rip Van Winkle, I got it down to what I would consider to be a Reposado for G4, especially the Madeira. This is my favorite G4. And those that know, I am kind of a lot of my favorite tequilas are fermented in wood vats. So that seemed to follow my flavor profile quite a bit. In most of my tequilas that I really, really enjoy. I'm not going to say exclusively, but because there's a lot of them that aren't. But let me take a look at the glass. See, I get the oak notes, barrel notes off of it. But I'm also getting the cooked agave and getting a few other notes to come with it. Let's give it a little sip. Wow. It's just really good. And again, see, this is at 90 proof. And this Cascahuin is going to be sitting right at 42%. So we're going to be at, 84. It's a little higher. The one that I did with Cascahuin Tahona Blanco before, can't remember what I used. That was this bottle. I used Old Forester, and it was light in color, but it had a great flavor profile. So we will. There's a smidgen of that left in there. We're gonna do it again. I may let this sit longer. As long as I'm just gonna let it sit for as long as it needs. I'm gonna look for a color probably similar to this, but if I even then if I let it go this far, I'm anticipating probably 3 days to get to this color and maybe 5 days to get to this color. So maybe. And then the biggest thing is it needs to air out. My brother-in-law just got done doing I'm not gonna say cheated. He had an unopened bottle of Ocho Reposado, which he likes, but he had 2. And we were talking about doing the old Rip Van Winkle seasoned sticks. I gave him a stick, everything to do it. Um, he aged his stick about a day longer than me, which that doesn't really matter. Once you dry it and let the alcohol evaporate, then you got what you got. But he dropped it into his bottle of Ocho, which he's, you know, a few weeks ahead of me because I'm starting out with a Blanco. He's starting out with a Repo. He dropped it down into there, um, and then just left it alone. And then promptly went out of town for almost a week, and then realized, oh crap, I forgot to pull that. So he went down to check it, and it was not this dark, and it was not this light, somewhere in between. Probably about the color of the Old Fitzgerald Barrel Select Ocho Añejo, about that color. Um, and I think it is going to improve as it oxidizes. Now that we've done the neck pour, the initial pour out of it, now that it's going to get some oxygen in there, I think it'll improve a little. It's a little woody, but it's got some good base flavor to it. There's fruit notes in there. It's just going to get better with age, and we'll see how that happens. But till next time, salute, my friends. We'll see you in a couple of days. Bye. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, everybody. We're back. It's been 2 days since the last recording. We aged a Spiral number 3 char wood stave in some Michter's barrel strength rye. I have already taken it out of the bag. I have wiped it down, rolled it, got as much of the loose char off so we're not putting that into the tequila. I want it as clean as possible so I don't have to filter it later. This is the normal color of Michter's, and after spending 2 days with wood in it, we're done about coffee. I'm going to sip this later off camera. Just woo wood. So what we're going to do, I'm going to talk a little bit, but we're going to put this into a bottle of Cascahuin Tahona, and we're going to let it sit for 3 or 4 days. I'm going to come back and revisit it on Friday, right before I take off to go to the lake for Memorial Day weekend, and see where we're at, because I'm kind of wanting to take this with me and enjoy it with my family. So let's crack this puppy open. And while we're doing that, we'll talk about some other things and maybe drink a little tequila before we drop it in. I want to give this plenty of time to, I just literally just pulled this out. So we're going to let it sit. Now, you wonder, why do you have this? Well, this way I don't have to drain it. I can pull this out of the bottle. Little dental floss, never hurt anybody. So let's open this up. Ooh, there we go. So, been playing with this for a little while. I'm enjoying doing this in bottle aging. I have been buying a few bottles, but the bottles that I've been buying are to replace ones that I've already had enjoyed tremendously, and they're backups or replacements. Nothing new. The newest bottle would be probably the Ocho Añejo Fits, which we've talked about. And that would probably be one of the newer bottles that I've purchased. I've bought backup for that. I liked it so well that I got it for my birthday that I decided, splurge a little bit more. Give me another one. And so I did. And then I also got a 2024 Puntas, replaced the bottle that I had that I really enjoyed and then drank it all, and then bought another one and drank it all, and I bought a third one. So it's going to sit in the cabinet, one of them special occasion ones. And then about another barrel strength um, Añejo Ocho. That's it's as high proof as the Puntas is. So got another one of those. Like, yeah, mostly what I've been buying in the past week or two has been, other than this bottle, stuff to put back. I've always said I have a selection, not a collection. Well, I found a couple handfuls of bottles that I want to keep for a later date. And so before they're all gone and not available, I went ahead and splurged a little bit and got me something to do that. I have the El Tequilino Reposado Rare. I can't open that bottle. I've already had a bottle. I still have some left for my first. This is what's left for my first bottle. Cork broke, and so I just put it into the decanter after I filtered out the cork pieces. This is what I have left. Um, the problem is this other bottle is kind of not replaceable because one, they don't make the Reposado Rare anymore, of course, and this one's signed by Tony. So it probably won't get opened. If it does, it'll be the day I retire, and then I'll crack that sucker open. So that'll be my retirement sipper. Long Island Lou, of course, I've opened that one, and then I've resealed it back shut again. Um, I got an El Tesoro for my birthday from my sister and brother-in-law, 85th anniversary bottle. That's been sipped on and reclosed and put back in the box. I got another. I have a Cascahuin SVD back up to this one, which I just emptied yesterday. It's in there to be opened later. That's will be my third bottle of that. That's how much I like it. Um, yeah, so I mean, there's just a few things around that, yeah, I kind of like them. So I bought backups for those, and I'm just setting them back. They won't. If they're not on here, I'm not going to drink them. So um, that's yeah, I'm kind of getting into. I have enough to drink, to enjoy, and share. I need to put some bottles back while they're still available for later consumption. So that's that. And so, without further ado, again, Cascahuin Tahona, and this is at 42%, so that's 84 proof. It's one of my most favorite blancos. Probably one of the favorite blancos, especially from Cascahuin. So we just sit down to the neck and just ease her down in. And so what she will do, this is the other thing, it doesn't have to sit at the bottom. I can suspend it here in the middle. And all we do is we just put the cork back in. And I take all this extra string, wrap it around here, and down we go. So now we're suspended in the middle. And that's that for this for at least 3 days. I'm going to try to push it all the way to Friday, which is, well, that'll be 3 days. Well, we get the rest of today and then almost the day on Friday. If I'm not, I may take this with me with a stick in it. That's how badly I want to take it with me. Let's see. What else is there? Upcoming bottles. Upcoming reviews. There is one bottle that I have not mentioned. Maybe I have mentioned it. For my birthday, I got a 40% off through Suerte. Just sign up for it, you get it. And so I went ahead and purchased a Suerte Extra Añejo. That should be here by the end of the week. Maybe when we do the check in this and we'll film it, we'll do a little taste of that because it's supposed to be here by Friday. That will be probably the next bottle down the line, which you're going to see that on this video, or I might just do it separate and do it after the first of the week. which is probably more likely because I'm probably going to be in a rush on Friday to do a quick video and then and a quick rendering to get all this put together so I can put it out so you guys can see it this weekend, coming weekend. Which by the time you see it will probably be Saturday, the day 2 days before Memorial Day, or I'll just let it come out on Memorial Day. Really having fun with this in enjoying all the differences. So for some of you that may have not seen, I don't have all the bottles here. One of them's at the lake. It's a bottle of G4 that I seasoned the stick in Woodford Double Oak. This one's in Old Rip Van Winkle. I did a Fortaleza Still Strength with Eagle Rare. It came out a nice Reposado. If you don't know me by now, Reposado is my favorite overall. I do like the extra, the añejos and the extra years, and I really do like the Blanco because I bought 4 bottles of this through various sources, and I am keeping one as the Blanco, but I have better. This is with Old Weller Antique 107. You can tell. Oh, I've been sharing this some, but I like this too. I was wanting to create my own single barrel line. I mean, for myself, to enjoy with my sister and brother-in-law, and my other sister and my other brother-in-law, and just sharing it along the way. And everybody's really enjoyed it. This has gotten better as it's aired out, but I've been sampling it quite a bit, so it's not long for this world. I have another Blanco unaged bottle of this that I may double up on something. I may get out some old sticks and revitalize them. I do have a cherry wood and then a French oak that I may drop into the other bottle of G4 Madeira. Give it another different little kick. But that's here nor there. So let's see what else. No, not much. Well, we're gonna drink something, aren't we? Let's see. What do we want to drink? What do we want to crack open? I've got a few bottles I have set back that are unopened. So I have 2 Fortaleza Still Strengths right here. I have a beautiful, and yeah, this is my only survivor of Fortaleza that came home from Mexico. As you can see, I got the Mexicans. This was bought at the distillery. This is lot 70. I think that's 74A. Not sure when this is going to get opened. I'm going to look at it and go, he's so pretty, a lot. So that was my Mexico survivor. Cascahuin's made it no problem. The Fortaleza, the hand blown bottles just didn't make it through. Next time I go, I'm making a special suitcase that has foam padding all the way around it. They can't crush it, and it's going to be more like a camera case than it is a suitcase. Let's see, still strength. They got a Blanco. You know what? Just for, we'll just drink one of these. That's a good idea. Drink what you brought, and we'll do this one. I like them all because I made them, and I can't tell anybody that they're bad because they're mine, and I like them that way. But this is the Eagle. This one actually turned out really well. But I have a little better luck with the seasoning liquid being a high proof. It tends to open up. Though Eagle Rare's at 90 proof, so that I don't have a problem with that. That's why I think it did so well. I did some with 80 proof, but with the still strength being at 46%, it tends to do better because I did it with a regular Blanco, which turned out good. I had to age it longer for it to really open up in the tequila. And then I also did those in ratios. I did, this much in cherry and that much in this and that much in the other one. And so it turned out differently. where that was trying to mimic my own winter blend, and these are done with as single barrels. Let's see, I got the sweet agave coming through. Some nice fruit notes coming through. There's this sweetness. Yeah, get a little bit of the wood. Not bad. Gotta get my palate warmed up for this. Oh, yum yum. It's a little caramel notes come along with it. It did well. It did well. And considering it's probably very oxidized from being in this, I just need to drink it up. Add it to the pile. I got a pile of fertilizer bulb bottles. I've got plans. Um, but so I will see you again in 3 or 4 days, and we will test out. Take a look at 3 days. We'll do it on Friday. We'll do it on Friday afternoon after I get home from work. We'll bring that bottle up and take a peek at it and see if it, and if it's got some nice color to it. We'll do a little sample and see if it's where I want it to be, or if I want to leave it for another day or two and deal with it then. I do know I want it to rest in the glass once I pull the stick out and see what it does. I have had some really good success with those little. I don't think I have any more. No, I think that was the last. No, I have another one. With these barrel aged in bottle, and you can use these for anything. You could do with, if you wanted to age a whiskey or a bourbon longer, this would be one way to do it. You could do this with wine. I don't know about barrel aged wine. I know it's a thing, but this works. These work really great, and they work fairly fast. Trying to think, I had one that I did that literally, I'm not kidding. I put it in the evening, like we're doing this now. Came back the next day after I got off work, and it had already started to change color. I mean, really started to change color. It was significantly different in one day. I mean, it had gone from, as an example, Ocho Blanco, clear as can be, and in one day it was a Repo in color. In 3 days, it was the color of the Añejo. So I tasted it then, and it was wonderful. I mean, really, it. I could let it sit for another half a day or wait till real late that night, and then finally pulled the stave out, and then let it air out for a while, and then we capped it, and then let it sit for a day. Um, I've got one of these that I swear has got a cantaloupe note to it. I'm not kidding. And it might be that one. But so again, we'll see in a few days. We'll see where our little bottle is at that point, and we'll do some filming, and then you'll get to see this on. Maybe we'll see it on Memorial Day, and then any of the other bottles that come in, and especially if they're cracked open or going to be cracked open, we'll see those next week. So until then, we'll see you on Friday, and then we'll see where we're at. Salute. We'll see you soon. Oh, man, that's good. Hey, everybody. It's tequila time. So, finishing up the in bottle aging before the holiday weekend. So, give you a little quick preview of how we finished out after 3 days in the bottle. And the stick is still in. We have a nice hay color. This is going to be a really good reposado. Um, I'm fairly confident. So let's pop it open, give it a taste. Um, it's time to drink tequila. Well, at least a little bit. All right. I'm going to leave it in there. We'll pour a little in the glass. So, in the glass, like I said, nice color. So, considering, while we let that air out, this is what we started out with. Clear. And in 3 days, we're to here. I know that's probably not that noticeable. Yeah, there it is. When you put them side by side. So that's 3 days with this Dave, this little stick spiral that I soaked in Michter's barrel strength rye. 3 days. 3 days. That's all it takes. It's 3 days. So we oh yeah. You just add, but by doing that, you're adding more fruit notes. You're getting some of that barrel influence to add some of that more sweetness to it, and it just it's my favorite. I like Reposado. I like Blanco, but first love got to be Reposado. That's where I started. That's what got me into this, and just went from there. Love it. I'll be drinking quite a bit of this weekend. It just amplifies the already fruitiness of the tequila. It just makes that come up a little bit more. You're definitely getting some of the barrel influence, and probably some of the rye. I mean, because I let it dry, but it's not going to flavor the tequila. The rye whiskey just opens the pores um, of the wood, and then maybe there's a little left behind. But this thing started. It took a whole day for it to change color, and then 2 days later, 2 more days later, we're here. I could leave that in there and start going more towards an añejo color. I could. I'm impatient. I mean, it doesn't need to look like that extra añejo up there. It doesn't. I have that up there. But what I do not have is a Cascahuin Tahona Reposado. I do now. So it's delicious. I mean, really. Um, if you can do it, try it. I'm telling you, it's just take your time. Don't be in a big rush. Don't let it stay too long. It can get overly woody. My brother-in-law diluted down his tequila ocho reposado that he turned into an añejo because it was too woody. It had way too much barrel influence on it. Not influence. It just tasted woody, like it was straight out of the barrel. And as much as he allowed it to air out, it didn't go away. So he added a little blanco to it, and he says you would not believe the difference it made. So I'm curious to try it. I don't know that I'm going to get to this weekend. I think he said he didn't bring it down, but we're going to have some of this. I got a delivery that's coming. It hasn't made it yet, but we'll be doing a review on it. I got some Suerte Extra Añejo that we will try first of the week after the holiday. And it's tequila time. So, what else? I don't know. I did order some more Cambio. I bought the whole Blanco Reposado Añejo. Because I think I'm going to take what I have left here, take it down the lake. For those of you that haven't tried it, Sip Tequila has it at a reasonable price, and it's cheaper to buy all three than to buy them individually. And they're well worth $174 for all three bottles. That's good stuff, and they're all the same strength. It's all above 80%. I think it's 86. I can't grab that bottle, but it's okay. 46%. So no, it's 92. That's what I have left of the Blanco. And that's about the same on the Repo and Añejo. So I'm going to take these to the lake, enjoy them this weekend. I've got 3 new bottles coming next week. I spent lots of money today, and not on tequila. Let's see what else. Things coming down the line. I should have 2 bottles coming tomorrow. One's a backup for the Old Fitz Tequila Ocho. I liked it so well. I need to get another one, kind of like I did on the Widow Jane repo that I got. So, drink some more tequila. Mm-mm-mm. I want to compare this. So, I want to see in between the Blanco and my aged product. Okay. Agave forward. Very soft on the palate. It's there's nothing astringent. There's nothing too mineral. It's got some minerality to it, but there's no. It's not earthy to my palate. The barrel age though adds that barrel influence where it heightens the sweetness. Maybe add some fruit notes to it. Can I pick them out? My palate's not that good, folks. Try it yourself. I don't. All I ask is if you do this, buy a quality additive-free tequila, whether it's Cascahuin, whether it's G4. My favorite G4, of course, is the Madeira. But you could do it with any Blanco. And I suggest starting out with a Blanco because if it's not to where you want it in 3 days, leave it in. Go another day. You would be surprised the difference of color and flavor one day makes with these small spiral steps. So have fun with it. It's Cascahuin does make a Tahona Blanco Reposado. It's just not available here. So, like I've always said, if you can find it, make it. It's not the most expensive part of this is the bottle of tequila itself. And that all depends on what you use. I have aged Yayo. No, not Yayo. Lalo. I've done Fortaleza. I've done Cascahuin, G4. My Infinity bottle. I'll show it to you here. So when I have bottles that are less than this or about like this, I won't. Usually, if it's the aged product, I have an Infinity bottle. And I think you all have seen this before. Nice. This is definitely extra añejo in color and in flavor. But I was cleaning up by adding bottles to it. Gave it a nice little, good shake, and did that to it and let the bubble settle down. And then I gave it a taste. I was like, it's not bad, but it needs something. So I took one of my wood staves, dropped it down in there, let it sit 1 day. 1 day. There's a plethora. It made it so much more complex by doing that it gave it something it didn't have in 1 day. I used my spiral stave like the one that's in here that I did the Woodford Double Oak soak in, and this is delicious. It will be my here at the desk sipper because I'm gonna guess there's probably 8 different brands in here, and they vary from Repo to Blanco to to Añejo mostly. I don't think there's anything over that. There's a little Lorette, a little Paladar. I'm trying to think what else is in there. Well, I know there's some Suerte Reposado in there, and there's a couple other ones that I know I cleaned out. But it's just 1 day with that oak stave in there, just giving a little more age, getting a little more barrel influence. Woo, it's delicious. Trust me. I've got friends at work that go, "What are you bringing me today?" Well, something I concocted. Ooh, that was good. And these aren't normal. And some of these people are not tequila drinkers normally. A couple of them aren't. I've got one that is, and he goes, "What'd you get?" Oh, something new, So hey, have fun with it, enjoy it, play around with it. You don't have to buy full bottles. You can find smaller bottles, do it that way. I got that one in Mexico because you can't find that here. But there are smaller bottles available, and or buy something that's not quite so expensive. I mean, I know how much the Cascahuin uh, Tahona Blanco cost. I do, but the more high quality I start out with the Blanco, the better off my aging project turns out. But again, you could use Lalo. It's not that expensive. It's $45 versus 90. You could use Lost Lord is going to be up in that same. I mean, there's so many different things. You could use the square bottle Cascahuins, which aren't a Blanco. They're not that expensive. They're on the $40 range. What else? I mean, you could probably get Arete Blanco. I would pick the artisanal one that's in a bottle similar to this. That would probably be a great choice. El Tequilino, get their Grand Reserva Blanco, and then age it yourself the way you want to do it. Not the way they do it, though they do a really good job at it. And price wise, they're not bad. So this is again, I'm making products that I can't get here, of the brands that I like and the lines that I like. Like I do like the Plata 48, but I like it as a Plata 48. I like this as just the straight Blanco, but I know they make a Repo. I don't know if they make an Añejo. I know they make an Añejo in that kind of bottle and an extra Añejo, but that is not technically a Tahona. So, that's where So those things are not available here. You can get them in Mexico. You can get them at the distillery in Mexico, probably more prevalently. That's not the right word. Anyway, you can probably get it better there than you can anywhere else. But we don't get all that stuff here. So this is readily available. The Plata 48 is that's something I should look into doing, is doing a Plata 48 in something. And I have an idea what I want to use, what I want to put in it. But Plata 48 bottle in the Kansas City area right now is about $110. Nope. Now, right now, I got many more bottles to finish and empty off the shelf before. And I just, and again, I just bought a whole bunch more. Some of that's not going up there. Some of it's going back for later use. But, um, we'll get around to it. We'll get around to it. So, everybody have a safe and good holiday weekend here in the U.S. So, enjoy your Memorial Day. I know our weather's not going to be exactly go out on the lake type weather, but we're cook out and have time together as family, and probably drink too much tequila because I'll be inside because it's raining. But um, we're just gonna have an enjoyable time away from home and just relaxing with my parents and my sister, and like I said, just kicking back. So until we see each other again, it's tequila time, my friend. Agave, love, and lore. Respect what's in your glass. We'll see you soon, my friends. Salud. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. See ya.